Hey, what up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. I am up, doing my laundry. And I'm doing a lot of it, and I wanted to do it all at once, so I'm at the laundromat doing it all at one time. I don't have a lot of time to be sitting here putting in loads, taking out loads, putting in loads, taking out loads. I just don't really have time, so I was like, I'm gonna just do all of this at once. Early in the morning at 7:22 a.m. here in the Bay Area. I had an amazing night last night. My daughter flew in from Atlanta to live, and she brought my Yorkie Buttons with her. I hadn't seen Buttons in 2 years. I was like, oh my God, thank you, my dog and my daughter. Thank you. So, anyway, let's get right to it. So, again, you guys in my comment section, I love you because you provoke thought. And when you put comments inside of my about a subject that I may not have been clear about previously, or that I want to continue to be clear about so women could have a better understanding of where I come from when I start talking about topics like this one. And so what I noticed about a lot of women as I've been, living life, I'm 39, of course, so I have a whole bunch of female friends. I've had plenty of girlfriends. I've done plenty of counseling, relationship counseling, marriage counseling, all of it. And from observing other people's relationships and other people's situations, what I notice is that a lot of people throw logic out the window when they get inside of these relationships, especially women. Men are emotional as well. Don't get it twisted. Women are emotional. Men are emotional as well. But the difference between men and women is that men are kind of delayed when they show their emotion. You understand? Like, they try to hide how they feel initially. Women, we just feel how we feel. We get through the process. Like if we go through a breakup, we feel it from the beginning and then we feel better, a lot faster than men do because men will take forever to sit down and process how they feel emotionally. And so women are more emotional in regards to the way that they use emotion to determine how they should feel, or what they should think, or how they should respond to something they are perceiving. And that's a very, very horrible thing to do because a lot of the times when you're thinking with emotion, you get impulsive and you do things just without thinking first, and you have like this knee-jerk reaction. And this is why it's important for women to think logically inside of situations. And so, of course, in the past few live streams I've done, I've been sitting here and I've been talking about the thought processes of people who cheat, especially women, okay? Mistresses, side chicks, so everybody can understand what's really going on in the mind of a mistress because everybody keeps thinking they know. They just think they automatically know. They want to scream, "Oh, this is karma." The person needs to worry about karma. The person needs to worry about consequences. The blah blah blah. And so, anyway, as I'm doing these videos, I'm seeing a lot of women post a lot of comments. And one comment that I saw just a minute ago, um, she was saying that a woman should feel bad if she gets involved with someone who is married. Um, I agree that it's a delayed reaction to where you feel bad later on. You don't necessarily feel bad at the moment because you're already in a bad place. So you're already feeling bad in general when you get in the situation, not necessarily because of the affair or the infidelity or the nature of the relationship, but because of something that was previously happening before that even got you as low as to feeling comfortable with being in a relationship with someone who is married or in a relationship. And so she was saying, someone should feel bad if they get inside of a relationship with someone who is already involved with someone else. And the whole concept of he's in a marriage and I'm single shouldn't give a woman comfort. And again, one thing that women can continuously keep pushing is this karma notion, this karma and consequences notion. And just like in the last live stream, I had to explain that the way the universe is, it's not on some, oh, what goes around comes back around. If you sleep with someone's husband, uh, for the rest of your life, you will be plagued with this cloud over all of your relationships to where all of your relationships should fail because you slept with somebody's husband or slept with somebody's boyfriend. And you guys have got to understand something. Like I said before, good things happen to bad people. bad things happen to good people sometimes. And there's plenty of good women out there who have been in relationships with men where they have done all of these amazing things and they still end up getting cheated on and hurt. They've been good women. They've never lied. They never made, betrayed anybody. They've been loyal and they still ended up getting cheated on. So sometimes good things happen to bad people. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. So how do you explain that? How do you explain the karma in that? What's the karma in a person experiencing something bad when they haven't done anything bad? So you guys have got to stop using, especially women, you have to stop using karma and consequences as a crutch to like punish or to help you process a woman interacting with a man who may be married or inside of a relationship. And so anyway, logically, um, the concept of a woman not being in a place, women are just not in a good place when they get into these relationships with men. So you can't expect a woman in that kind of relationship to have a level of respect for you or care about whether you respect her. She's 9 times out of 10 not respecting herself because she's already in a bad situation. So a lot of the times women who have been cheated on, if they've been wives, if they've been girlfriends, in order for them to process, why their man is cheating or what happened, or they try to blame the woman. And inside of this comment that I put as my thumbnail for this live stream, she was saying that a woman should feel bad about desecrating a man's marriage. She should feel bad about being a quote unquote homewrecker, right? So here's where the logic is missing in that. And by the time a man considers being inside of some type of relationship to where he's cheating on his wife or his girlfriend, that relationship is already desecrated by him. It's already headed down the wrong path already. It's already destroyed because the second he considers this and actually puts into action him cheating on his girlfriend or wife, he has already desecrated his situation. So it's not attempted murder. She's not smuggling contraband. She's not harboring a fugitive, nothing like that. It's not her responsibility to nourish or protect a relationship that she knows nothing about. One thing that happens when these women get inside of these relationships with these men, a lot of times men departmentalize. That's one thing that men do that women don't. Like, men have a box for everything. They put this thing in this box, and then the next box is a whole other thing, and then the next box, and this is a whole other thing, and the next box, and it's not connected. Okay? But women will have those same 4 boxes and we'll connect all of that stuff together in some type of way to make it this big event. Men departmentalize. And so when a man is dealing with a mistress, 9 times out of 10, he's not bringing his marriage into that. Like, you ever heard a man say, "Oh, I was just sleeping with her. I don't really have any feelings for her like that. I was just sleeping with her." It's because he departmentalized the situation. That was just to him having that experience with that woman was just in that box. It didn't have anything to do with his marriage per se. So that's the one thing that women don't do. We don't realize the logic that's associated with why people um, cheat and lie. Especially men. Like, women just really don't get it because they're not logically thinking. What they're doing is using their emotions to think. They're using their emotions when really, if you sit down and you think about it, it's like, okay, the main person I should be focusing on is not the person that he, did this action with. That's like, say for instance, we was just talking about harboring fugitives and murders and stuff like that. Okay, so when someone murders someone, let's say they used a weapon, all right? Would you blame the weapon or would you blame the person that committed the crime with the tool that they used in order to commit the crime? That's it's like it's not logical when you blame women for these men. These men are grown. They're not coerced. They're not encouraged. They're not persuaded. Any man who is fully inside of his situation, when he's fully inside of his marriage and his relationship, and he's deeply in love, it is nothing on this planet that could get this man to cheat and lie to his own woman. It's no other woman on this planet that can do that. If a woman could take your man, sleep with your man, kiss your man, talk your man into doing anything negative to you, that man is not your man. Okay? He is not your man. He is community penis. Right? So I want women to stop throwing their logic out the window. Think about what I just said. If someone commits a crime, if someone kills someone or murders someone, the tool that they use to murder someone, the weapon that they use to murder someone, are you going to blame the weapon? No, you're not going to be like, oh, that bat, that damn bat. Let's blame the bat. Come on, stop. No, it's it's the person who used the bat. You know, where are they mentally? Why are they unstable mentally in order to do these things? And so that isn't the only thing that women do inside of relationships. That's illogical. Um, it's a number of things. I mean, we just lose. I don't know, successful women especially, because I can relate. You know, I'm an entrepreneur, and when I don't treat business the same way I treat relationships. It's two very different things. Okay, when I'm handling business, right, I'm very thorough. I think things through. Execute things. I stick to my guns. I don't say, well, maybe there's a possibility I should do this process or that process. I mean, sometimes I wing it as far as, making decisions when it comes to creativity. But when it comes to processes and following certain rules in order to get something to be successful, you got to do things a certain way. You got to do things one thing at a time, one step at a time. And if you skip steps, then whatever foundation that you're building is going to crash to the ground. And so, inside of relationships, a lot of times women don't do that. They give men the benefit of the doubt, and they're thinking about the experiences that they may be having inside of the relationship, and they're thinking about it in a way to where they're like, okay, I got to factor in all of these other things. I got to factor in how he feel, his mom feel, his friends feel, or what their own friends are saying and own friends are thinking, or what social media thinks, or a whole bunch of stuff that don't have nothing to do with the process of being successful at something or executing something. Women just start factoring a whole bunch of other shit that don't have nothing to do with nothing. And that is the reason why a lot of these relationships that these women get in with these men fail. I mean, women lose their mind. They'll look at and men do this too. They'll look at a man. He's so fine. He dressed nice. He smell good. He got a nice car. He got money. He taking me out on dates. He do whatever it is that he's doing. Automatically, she'll just classify him as a good man, not even realizing there are so many other things that you have to factor in inside of a relationship. And I think that as far as like gender roles, a lot of that stuff is changing. You know, there was a time where women would get inside of these marriages because they needed room and board. That's an old school way of thinking. Like, I want a man to provide for me, because really that's what marriage was. It was a financial arrangement. It was men going out here working and women staying in the house taking care of kids and folding clothes and cooking and stuff like that. And they needed for a man to go out there and get that bread so they could have a roof over their head, so they could dress nice and get their hair done and do whatever. That's a marriage in the 50s and 60s, but we're talking about 2019 here. This is a whole nother set of rules here. Women are going out here tying our own shoes. We're executives of companies. We're buying our own houses. We don't need men for that anymore. So when people have these outdated beliefs, especially women, inside of these relationships, and they start applying these outdated beliefs into these new age relationships, that's why they continue to fail. You cannot have this old traditional thought process and pull it into 2019 and think that what happened last century is going to you could still apply to something that's happening right now. Because if you think about it, in those old relationships, they didn't have like social media. You couldn't have access to people that you went to high school with so easily. I mean, you could get on Facebook and see everybody that you like had a slick crush on in high school and college, and that can affect your entire marriage and relationship. I mean, it's men using social media apps like Tinder and POF and damn OK Cupid and even Match.com and eHarmony and shit, to turn around and lie about who they are so they can start relationships with women that aren't necessarily the healthiest. Because they're not, at the end of the day, the way things are right now, you cannot apply old traditional thinking to these new and improved relationships. I mean, and I don't even know if I want to use the term improved before relationships, because what I'm seeing is a lot of people just breaking up with each other and lying to each other and fading to black and using texting as a way to communicate, and that's it, not calling each other, can't get each other on the phone to have a healthy conversation. It's happening all over the place. You've been in it. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. I see someone in here talking about consequences again. I'm not saying there aren't any consequences, but what I'm trying to explain to anyone who, may have decided to get inside of a relationship where there's one of the people is married or in a relationship. That's the person who is not single has to deal with the consequence of whatever's circling around as far as karma goes, because they're the ones in a relationship. The person who is single inside of that relationship also has consequences, but it's not the consequences that everybody that's hurt inside of the situation wishes it was. It's like you guys think that it's the whole karma thing, the whole what goes around comes around thing is used as a weapon. It's being weaponized instead of people just understanding that's not how the universe works. The universe is going to give you what you tell it to give you. The universe is, and bear with me because every time I try to explain this, I'm not sure if I'm explaining it in the best way I can, but I'm still trying to push forward and try to explain. So I think the analogy that I used, the example that I used before, was about you having a dream, and you go to you have a goal or something that you're trying to accomplish, right? And you're consistently habitually saying to the universe, I have this dream, this goal that I've been trying to accomplish, and I've been trying to accomplish for a long time, and I don't feel like it's going to come true anytime soon. It's a lifelong dream, and it's something that I've been working on, and it's just so hard to accomplish. If you consistently keep saying that to the universe, what the universe is going to say is, okay, you have this lifelong dream, this goal that you've been trying to accomplish, and it's been very, very difficult for you. And the universe gives you back that reality. That's karma. That's consequences. That like attracts like. That's the law of attraction. If you go to the universe and you say, yo, I have this dream and it's going well, and step by every day I get closer and closer to accomplishing it. It is so easy. It feels so good. It's such an amazing experience. I know I'm going to accomplish this very, very soon. I see it coming. The universe is going to say to you, okay, you have this dream that you're trying to accomplish, this goal that you are getting close to every day, step by step. You are seeing this dream come true, and then the universe gives you evidence of that. That's karma. That's the law of attraction. The universe does not work against a human being. Okay, the universe does not do that. Like I said before, good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people sometimes. And you can never explain it. It's because a lot of times when we're co-creating with each other, you might be dealing with someone and their karma and their consequences, or what's happening in their life ends up being a part of your frequency and your energy. And sometimes it just doesn't have anything to do with you. It's most things, from what I'm seeing, most good people, a lot of things that happen to them they don't even freaking deserve. A nice person, a very nice kind person will tell you, I've never done anything to such and such. What did I do to deserve this? Blah, 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 blah. And you never understand. Like I said, good women are walking around here being these amazing wives and mothers and girlfriends, and their husbands are still walking around there cheating on them, hurting them. That has nothing to do with that wife or that girlfriend. That has to do with that husband, that boyfriend. When a man is sitting here and he's getting everything he needs inside of a relationship, and a woman is being the best version of herself she could be, kind and nice and whatever it is that brought him into the relationship to begin with, and then he turns around and still decides to do all of this negative stuff to her, how do you explain that? How is that woman's karma when that woman has done nothing to this man? Nothing. So it's the same thing with the mistresses and the side chicks. It doesn't just apply to good people. It applies to people that you consider bad too. Because the universe is not judgmental as a human being. Human beings are judgmental. The universe just wants you to do whatever's on the path of least resistance for you. Because listen, the universe is working in a way to where it's connected to each individual person and their network, okay, their social circle, whatever it is that's happening in their life, and it's doing what's best for that person. It's a divine purpose that has nothing to do with whether this person slept with someone's husband or not. And when people try to assign the universe human characteristics, that's interesting to me, because it's like that's not how the universe is built at all. You're putting your petty, like, thought processes on top of something as large as the universe, as God's work, or as, and I say universe, you guys say God. I say God when I'm trying to relate to you. So the universe and God is not walking around here being an exaggerated version of a human being, judging everyone, and you're going to have judgment day. Everybody's religion is different, and a lot of times even a person who isn't Christian will say something about judgment day, or will say that God judges, and they're not Christian, not even realizing that that's a Christian belief. There are so many different religions out there. There are so many different religions, and everybody swears their religion is right. You understand what I'm saying? So what I have picked up on the universe, just off of experience, is that sometimes bad things happen to good people, they didn't deserve it. And then sometimes some good stuff will happen to a bad person, and you're sitting there confused and wonder why. You know why you're wondering why? Because you've been programmed to believe that there's this judgment day, there's this human, this big, large, exaggerated human in the sky orchestrating everything about your life. And when something bad, happens in your life, there has to be an explanation of, you must have did something, I don't know, a year ago or yesterday for such and such to be happening to you. So to me, I just don't have that belief. I think in a more logical, like, practical way. I do have spiritual beliefs, of course, but it's more of a energetic, scientific type of way, not necessarily on a whimsical, like, magical Doctor Strange type of. I would, you know what I'm saying? It's not to where I'm thinking I can use the universe as a weapon to hurt another human being, or I'm going to say, well, that karma comes back around. Because I remember thinking before, like, when my situation happened with me and my son's father, I kept thinking to myself, the karma that's going to come back around on this man is going to be ridiculous, because I was the best version of myself for this man. I did everything I was supposed to do. I never lied. I never cheated. I was catering. I was accommodating. I was just the sweetest person around him. I gave that man my all. So when the relationship went the way that it went, to where he betrayed me in the way that he did, I was thinking, the karma that's going to come back on this man, right? That was my initial, like, knee jerk reaction, because that's what I've been programmed to believe for so many years, that karma is going to come around and kick someone in the ass if they do something bad to me. But then I thought about what people said to me. People said to me, Soncerae, what happened between you and your son's father is karma for what you did 10 years ago when you decided to be this man's mistress. And then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. In the 10 years between the time I was this man's mistress and I met my son's father, all of the horrible stuff that happened to me in between wasn't karma. It wasn't payback. Like, you have to realize, we're dealing with the universe on a day-to-day basis. The universe is giving us stuff day in and day out. And usually how you respond to what you experiencing creates more of whatever it is that you're experiencing. So if you're experiencing something negative, and the way that you respond to it negatively, more of it's going to come. If you're experiencing something negative and you have a better response to it, usually that thing goes away really, really quickly and more positive things come. So I'm thinking about an entire decade, all of the negative stuff that's happened to me, and how things switched more positively, and why. And 9 times out of 10, it has something to do with how I responded to what I was observing or experiencing, not necessarily like this big plan of God looking down on me, just bestowing all of these bad things about me onto me, I'm sorry, because of one thing I did over a decade ago. That's not, God does not think like that. God, here's my thing. It doesn't work in that way, because when we sit here and we start talking about lessons learned and blessings and mistakes, sometimes some things are a mistake. So you mean to tell me if a human being just decided to make a mistake one day, because remember, human beings are doing the best that they can with what they know. So a human decides to make just a mistake one day, and for the rest of their lives, they are just messed up. Like that, to me, I just don't feel like that's accurate, because I've seen too many people make too many mistakes and then they turn around and they live this amazing life. I have seen it happen too many times to too many people. So I just don't understand how um that type of karma, that type of definition of what karma is, works in the minds of people who aren't thinking logically. I mean, I don't see how that works, because from a logical standpoint, that doesn't even sound right. It just doesn't sound right to me. So when I kept saying, karma's gonna come back on my son's father for what he did, it was more like, am I weaponizing karma right now? Like, I'm using karma as a way to give me solace, to give me comfort after being in so much pain. Because really, at the end of the day, I want my son's father to feel the pain that I feel. So if I know that eventually the pain I feel will come to him, then I'll be all right. That's a human being doing that. That is not God. Like, even if you look at the Bible and some of the scriptures, they tell you, don't wish harm on anyone. When people spit out that karma stuff, that's what that reminds me of. It's like someone's wishing bad on someone else, because that's the thing that makes them feel better or helps them be able to deal with what they're thinking about, what they're experiencing. And so anyway, this live stream was supposed to be about logic, not karma and consequences and spirituality. But, I ended up getting into that anyway. So listen, I gotta go. Remember, I told you guys I was at the laundromat. I got like 100 loads in there because I wanted to just wash everything at one time. Um, Everything's probably washed because I all I needed was 37 minutes and it's 26 minutes. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take them out and then I'm going to put them in a dryer, and maybe I'll come back on and do more live streaming because I got a whole like 45 minutes to 60 minutes to dry all of my stuff. So then I'm going to come back and maybe I'll look inside of the chat right now, like whatever questions that you have or anything that you want to talk about and pertaining to this topic, put it in the chat or put it in the comment section, and when I come back and turn the live stream back on, I'll address all of that stuff. Okay, so just be prepared for me to circle back. Okay, I'll be back. Bye.